Hey everybody, welcome to the Crypto Prepper channel. This is Crypto Prepper. Today we're going to talk about setting up a bot on Bitsgap. So what we've got here is we've got our desktop user interface. The last video I posted, it um, was on my tablet, so it was a little different. It was a kind of like a mobile view. So this is what it looks like on the desktop. So up here we've got trading bots, analytics. We're just going to focus on the bots today. I tried to do a video yesterday when I was testing out my new screen recording software, and I watched the video and it was horrible. I wasn't focused enough, and I kind of hopped all over the place. So we're going to go over here to the right, towards the right here, start new bot. And today we're just going to talk about grid bots because these work better in a sideways market and sideways up market. So I click that, and then this is all in demo mode. So you're going to see all kinds of weird values and whatnot and exchanges that you may or may not have access to. So when you are playing in demo, what you're going to do is you're going to go to basically in United States, we have access to Coinbase, Kraken, and Gemini that can interface with Bitsgap. I think those are the only ones that we have access to in America. So if you're not in America, then you have access to Binance and KuCoin, Crypto.com, and whatnot. But just assuming that most of my target audience is um, in the U.S., we're going to go with Coinbase. Okay, so the next box over here that we're going to focus on after when we are creating our grid bot is our pairing. So we're going to maybe start with Bitcoin, USD, and you have USD, USDC, USDT. So you can click on the USD, it'll pull up the chart on your left. You can change to, day candles. If you're really not familiar with trading view, or, just kind of navigating charts, that's a whole nother video for you. Um, but that's where this pulls it from is trading view. So it's going to be the same kind of deal. So what we will do is you kind of look at the like the bigger picture, uh, hopefully, because the whole point of doing these is that we're going to set and forget, and we don't want to really mess around a whole lot with all these, you know, even though it's going to be hard not to look at this every day. You ideally want to set this up and not look at it, for weeks, months at a time. So that's the way I'm going to go about doing this. And we'll start with like the least risk. So with a grid bot, they really don't perform very well unless you have 3K into them. So keep that in mind with these standard grid bots is 3K is a good number. I personally like to start mine with 5K, and I don't know, it's just a cleaner number in my mind, and I'm kind of like that. So when we get into talking about different kind of bots, they might fit you better if you're only able to put in 1,000. Um, so per bot. But anyway, so what we have here is we have our pair. We have Bitcoin, USD. We have our volume down here, so you can see like on a daily candle. It doesn't look like there's a whole lot of volume, 10K, and I don't know if that's annotated in dollars or Bitcoin yet, but it doesn't really matter because either way, if that's Bitcoin, that's great. But if it's not, it's not so great. But we can look at the other pairings that we have available on Coinbase, and they're going to incentivize you to use USDC. So looks like we have about the same amount of volume, but on Coinbase, I like to use USDC because then when the dollars that are waiting here on these open orders, when they're not being used in the bot, they're actually capturing a 4% return from Coinbase that they offer at least to US customers. So we don't see a big discrepancy in the volume between USD and USDC. So that's good. Let's see. Let's try just for shits and giggles. We'll try the USDT, and this has very little volume. So, there has been talks currently in late January of 2025 is when I'm recording this video. So we've already gone up a lot this last few months in Bitcoin, and you know, I'm not going to make any price predictions. I'm going to try to remove myself from that because you're probably going to see this video far, far from now, and if you're even watching it by now. But I think as I go through this channel, I want to focus on less risky, more longer term, set it and forget it kind of things. And even though I'm personally playing with the riskier, more hands-on bots, I want to do this channel so that it helps people that don't necessarily want to do that, and I in the future don't want to be doing what I'm doing right now. So I'm going to be busy with other things, so I want to set and forget it. So here we've got our BTC USDC bot. We're going to set the investment at um, 5,000. Okay, so this is a good example. We're going to kind of go off on a little bit of a tangent here. Bear with me. But so if you get this message, then you need to fix it. It'll change it to this whatever you have available in USDC. Um, but to fix that, what you can do is you can go over into your trading tab here, and you're going to click that, wait for it to do its thing. You're going to come over here. This is where it's nice to use Bitsgap, especially if you're working on multiple exchanges, because it's the same user interface. You don't have to navigate between all the different exchanges. So we're just going to do a market order for simplicity's sake. Let's see. Oh, you know what? I need to change my pairing. So come over here, click this, USDC, and let's see here. We need the USDC to USD. Where is it? Okay. Because typically when you are up here, no, that's not it. Shoot. Okay, so it says I have available. I have 6,000 USD. In demo mode, you start out with all kinds of different things. So if I go to Coinbase in my portfolio, it looks like I've got um, 10K in XRP, 19K in USDT. Okay, so let's go back to trading and let's see if we can find a USDC USDT pair. Here we go. So I am going to swap all of this over to USDC. Okay. It's interesting how it fluctuates like this. It's not a lot, but it's just still kind of weird. They're supposed to be stable coins. Okay, so I'm selling 100%. I'm going to receive um, USDC, which is what I want to do, because the pairings can get kind of confusing. So you always know what you're going to get by doing here or by looking here. So if you buy then you're going to get this. Sell, I'm going to get this. So technically I want to sell my USDT into USDC. And it happens pretty fast in market orders. So now I can go back over here to my bots. Okay. So apologize for the sidetrack there, but you get to see this again, so maybe it's a benefit without having to start the video over again. So I'm gonna go to GridBot. I'm gonna go to Coinbase. I'm going to punch in BTC and USDC. Now I've got uh, 19 grand to work with. We're gonna start it out with 5. And what I ideally want to do for myself and maybe help you decide whether it's better for you or whatever. Just assuming that you're going to be the type of person that um, sets and forgets. You're going to stay with the most stable, less risky bots first, and then we'll move further down the risk curve. So if you're coming to watch this old video from a newer one and whatever, where we're talking about riskier stuff, maybe this is a better video for you. So you can kind of play with these quick setups. So we have short term, mid-term, long term, and we want to do these more long term. So, you could even manually click and drag the low price down, and say, I'm not saying this, but if you are looking at the price and you're saying, oh, it's 105 and um, and uh, maybe I think it might go up to 140. You're going to decide this on your own. I'm not going to tell you where it's going to go or what I think currently at the price. You're just going to kind of play around, and if you want to look at it in a longer term view, you can just kind of uh, change your settings to look. Oops, it looks like day is the longest I can go. So it's only going to let me see a little over a year's price action. So say maybe you put it down there, and when it gets back down, if it gets back down to 38K, your bot will be buying it. So the when we do a back test, this is what I'm thinking about now. We're going to do our back test. So you're going to come back over here towards the middle of your screen and hit back test with these current settings that you have. So you can see that if this bot was trading just over the past 30 days, which unfortunately doesn't give us a longer time span, that would be pretty sweet for the kind of trading that we want to do with this is just kind of set and forget. But this is going to tell us that over the last 30 days, this bot would have made 0.67%. So on my calculator, I'm taking that 5,000 times 0.0067. So you get when you know how to do your multiplication with percentages. So that would have only been $33 of gain. And that's assuming with this trading fee of 0.6%. And the more money you have in the bots, the more money you have in the exchange. It's going to increase your volume on the exchange. And as the volume increases, it's actually going to decrease the trading fee that you're paying on Coinbase. So don't let this um, deter you from using Coinbase because it is the biggest one in the US. So you're going to have the best liquidity. And as you move forward in this endeavor, if you decide to go with it, you're going to get a lower trading fee. But if I understand if you have an adverse reaction to Coinbase because they're not the best, but they are the biggest. So that's what you have there. We're just talking about Coinbase right now. So you can see that's going to give me $33. That unfortunately doesn't even pay for the subscription for Bitscap because it's going to run about 60, 70 unless you get it as you're moving forward. And you see um, them put out a 50% off sale. That's a good opportunity to buy the year version, and you're going to save a lot of money. Anyway, uh, to get this started out, you're going to need to have a few $1,000s to start at least one bot and be able to pay that $60 a month, 60, 70, I can't remember what it is for the mid tier. You don't need the super version, but you're going to need to be able to do all this to really maximize your return. So that's where, maybe you're going to want to go a little bit riskier than Bitcoin at first and just kind of get your feet wet and get learning, be able to justify the cost of the software. But everybody's got their own risk tolerance. Okay, so if we were going to set this up, I would go ahead and hit continue. And then this gives you another opportunity to just double check everything. You're going to want to make sure that your pairing is correct, the investment is correct. You don't have to worry about all this. It's automatically going to set up those orders for you. Your high price is set there, low price there. If you did want to play around with, doing, staying in, staying in the um, less risky, Bitcoin is going to be less risky. You can try out the short term, and maybe just say, hey, if it goes back down to 88, I want to scoop that up and I want to kind of sell all the way up to 115 is what it kind of the range it had. And we can back test this. So um, click that and it's going to give you 1.33%. So, you're going to you're going to get you're going to be really good at getting your calculator out and putting together percentages. Just make sure you move that decimal place 2 places to the left. So 5,000 times 0.0133, $66. So there we're getting pretty close to the monthly charge of of Bitscap, and being able to justify the cost of, or setting up one bot, in the short term, 30 days, watching this, and it's going to move up and down throughout this. Hopefully, just like it did, it's going to be doing something like this or even going higher, and then your returns are going to be higher than this. So this is a sideways market. It's just kind of barely gone up from 94 to 10, yeah, barely 10K. So, of course, you're not, you're just a fraction of a Bitcoin in this trading bot, but that gives you a good idea of getting that started and figuring out what your risk tolerances are, setting your low price. You can even play around with the more detailed thing here. So you can look at, hey, if I think, so and so says they think it's going to go up to $120, and then so and so else says 99 is going to be the lowest we see for a minute. That's on you to figure all this stuff out for yourself. But you can adjust this, and you can even play around with different grid steps. So this is a good opportunity to explain this. So your grid step is going to be the distance between each one of these lines all the way up. And so every time it moves 0.5%, the price of Bitcoin and USDC, it's going to either buy or sell depending on where you're at. And you do see this trading exchange fee. If I were to, let's see, if I back test this and put that down to 0.4, let's see, it's going to change. It's going to give you the change. It's going to refresh this, but I don't know if we stop this out, if it will change. here. But just because it's in this trading range now doesn't mean that it won't buy and sell all these lines. It still will. But when it's trading, we can look at it at a um, oops, gotta come down here so I can scroll. If we come down over here to the left and change it to like a maybe a 1 hour chart, you can kind of see how many times it's crossed through these lines just on a 1 hour chart. You can even go down as low as 1 minute. You're not going to get as many moves, but it did move earlier this morning or late last night, I guess. And this would be this morning here. Nope, yeah, this would be early morning. So you can kind of get a visual idea of how many times that's crossing the line and buying and selling. So Bitcoin is going to be less volatile, and it's not going to give you as good a return, but it's going to be more stable. It's still going to give you a return, so um, you can look at it as simply as even setting the way the lines were set up here, in the last, uh, it did keep our 15-minute chart here. So you can kind of see what you would be looking at throughout the day. And over the last 3 days, well, I don't like to look at the last 3 days. We'll just keep it to 30 days, 30 days result. So a $5,000 investment gives you 0.78%. That's 39 bucks. That's more than you would get keeping that 5K in a bank. So, and here you benefit off the volatility of the market. And in an exchange like Coinbase, you know, they're not going to FTX you. So if you don't know what FTX is, then you probably shouldn't be messing with trading bots. Anyway, so so if I just click continue and start bot, it's going to create all these buy orders. And in demo mode, it does it really fast. In live mode, you'll kind of see the lines start gray, and then they're going to kind of slowly turn green and red. So, and like I said, try not to watch it, especially with Bitcoin, because it's not going to be that exciting. But as we get into the riskier bots, then you're going to see where it it does kind of get exciting when you're watching, sometimes even on the minute chart or 15-minute. It's kind of fun to do when you're um, when you get a volatile weekend, especially like last weekend when Trump put out his coin and we had a a jolt up to, in Bitcoin it was a jolt up to 108, 109. Um, oops, and this, there we go. Move it to the 4 hour so you can kind of see the excitement that we had, late last weekend, earlier this week, and even into just earlier this month. It went from 89 to 109. So that's pretty crazy. And if you would have had this bot on, you would have got that extra 30 bucks just from having 5K in here. So anyway, hopefully that helps. And if it did, like this video, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to continue doing these short, more to the point, and they're going to get better as I go along, because that's just the way we got to do it to get better. All right, take care, everybody, and we'll see you in the next video.